The skyline of the Steel City, always a welcome sight on a Friday night. Year 5 for Friday night duels. No better place to kick off a brand new season than Pittsburgh, PA, one of the wrestling hotbeds of the country, as the Pitt Panthers, ranked number 19, welcome number 8 NC State to the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Hi everybody, Sean Kinney alongside Rock Harrison. Great to have you with us. Year 5 for us, Rock, and Friday night duels. We've had a front row seat to watch this conference grow to the top as far as collegiate wrestling, highlighted last year by 2 national champions.
2 national champions, a litany of All-Americans, and conference champions galore. This is a conference that's getting stronger and stronger, and starting this year with NC State 5-time defending champion looking for number 6.
You look at how it shook out last year. 3 teams tied for the ACC regular season title. 2 of them are here tonight. Now, there's a lot of familiar faces, probably none more so than at 141.
141, Ryan Jack. He's gotten better every year, and he keeps working on that single and knows how to finish it. Here he finished it against Oklahoma State, and I tell you what, he's going to have his challenge because he has not been able to figure out the matrix called Cole Matthews. Cole Matthews hasn't had a great start, but it was a great win against Jesse Mendez of Ohio State last-second takedown. Hopefully Cole Matthews has gotten his situation stronger and he can come back and put Pitt ahead.
A new year, some new faces. NC State has one to keep an eye on.
Dylan Fishback, he's a freshman, blue chipper, but he's wrestling well. Had a great Vegas tournament, and I tell you what, he likes space, but he also can get his underhooks and wrestle very well fundamentally. He has to wrestle fundamentally against Reese Heller of Pitt. He is a guy that is very good at upper body, and if you are not fundamentally sound, he will put you on your back, and you'll be looking up at the ceiling asking what just happened. It's going to be a match between style and substance.
This series has been one-sided. You go back to 2014, NC State holds the 8-2 edge over Pitt, including the last 4. The Panthers will try to change that. A new year, Friday night duels next. Big crowd here in Pittsburgh. Friday night duels, NC State, Pitt moments away from starting. You take a look at the first half of the lineup. One change, NC State inserts Jarrett Trombley at 125. Aurini, Jack, Arrington, and Scott. That is a load for the Wolfpack. Cole Matthews, the All-American for Pitt. Finn Solomon wrestling against his former team at 149. There is a good look at Jarrett Trombley, the graduate student. He has been Mr. Versatility in his time in Raleigh. He has wrestled both 25 and 33. Tonight, Pat Papalizio sends him out at 25 up against Colton Camacho, the redshirt senior, and even 7-7 on the year. And Camacho not wasting any time trying to get into that right arm underhook.
Both guys have pretty good underhook series here. But Camacho forced it, and he has a pretty good cement mixer. Since we're in PA, call it what it is, a cement mixer.
Double unders. You see Trombley try to thrust him up a little bit, get into his upper body tie-up. And we'll get our first stop each. 2:24 to go here in this first period. Jarrett Trombley inserted into the lineup. No Jacob Camacho tonight. Camacho, the 3-time NCAA qualifiers. You see the change of direction, and Trombley gets the first 3.
That was a great change of direction. It was clean. I don't know if Camacho really had a chance to even defend it. And immediately he keeps the pressure forward. When you're on top like that, you want to keep the pressure forward on the hands. When you sit back, it gives the opponent the opportunity to stand to their feet, but when you keep pressing forward on the hands, it's hard for them to stand up. As a result, you see more guys doing what's like a quad pod and then kind of back their way up to a stand-up as opposed to trying to just explode up.
1, 2.
Off the start, quick switch attempt there by Camacho. Both wrestlers back on their feet. Let's see if Trombley can get a mat return, and he does.
Looking for a cross wrist tilt. That was a smooth transition right there. He had what's called a tilt when you have the wrist on one side. He was trying to roll through, but when he couldn't get it, he put that left leg in.
Good job here by Trombley as we have crossed over the halfway point. Period one has that arm controlled leg in, over a minute of riding time. Jared Trombley, a three-time NCAA qualifier. He qualified at 133 the first couple of years, and last year down at 25 during Jacob Camacho's injury season, in which he recovered from a torn ACL. And here they turn to Trombley in the ACC opener tonight. Painful ride, nothing Camacho can do underneath.
Already you're seeing what NC State is known for, and that's being very good on top. And not just one series, you'll see up and down the lineup, it's not the same thing that they do. And Jared Trombley had a clean takedown and goes right to a series that the arm bar leg in is just really being a punisher.
Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Stretching out the shoulder area. Camacho wisely rolls through it, gets back to his base. In the meantime, Trombley just building a mountain's worth of riding time, hitting over 2 minutes. Stall call underneath on Camacho.
And with this scenario right here, you start to wonder, what is, it looks like we're going to see some back points here.
2, 3, 4.
Returning ACC champion, Trombley making a statement here. That was a very dominating period with a clean takedown. Watch this takedown. Barely touched him and got around him.
Red, your choice.
And then the back points. He had the arm hook, leg hook, and getting 4 swipes. 4 swipes this year, 4 points. 7-0 and a whole lot of riding time. 2 minutes and 17 seconds. This is the start that NC State want. When you go into a hostile environment like this, you want to have your first wrestler, regardless if it's 125 or 165. You want them to come out and wrestle hard.
Especially considering Trombley has only wrestled 4 matches this season, and 3 of those were at 133. A couple of times in November. Wrestled in the collegiate duels in Nashville, and now getting the call. And he is able to get the escape, so an 8-0 lead for Trombley. Early stages of the second period.
This speaks to the depth of NC State. Coach Popolizzo has made it abundantly clear he wants to have 2 deep at every weight class. At 125, he has 2 guys that are ACC champions. I mean, that is depth.
Jacob Camacho, who we are not seeing tonight, he has won the ACC title twice in 2020 and 22, but has lost 4 straight, so he's spending some extra time in the practice room trying to get things straight. Trombley, again, the versatility bouncing between 25 and 33. How valuable is that to have a guy in that room like NC State has enjoyed the past few years with Jared Trombley?
Every team needs wrestlers like Jared Trombley. He'll say, coach, just get me in. And when the coach knows that you'll get in, you know you're going to get excellent performance and excellent effort.
Center in.
Little arm spin.
Action.
To the center we go, and good look at Pat Popolizzo, Coach Hall, Kevin Jack, the 3-time All-American for NC State. Let's see if Camacho can get something started. Short time here in this second period.
He's forcing the underhook. An underhook is when you hook the opponent's shoulder. The challenge is that his head needs to be on the side of the underhook.
Final few moments, period number 2. Trombley with the escape, that is it. Still has well over 2 minutes of riding time and a commanding 8-0 lead. Keith Gavin on the left, year 7. He won a national title here at Pitt back in 2008, 174 pounds, and then Pat Popolizzo. What a job he has done trying to guide the Wolfpack to their 6th consecutive ACC title.
Second stall call against Camacho. Second stall call is a point. So if there's another stall call, there'll be another point.
Colton Camacho has a lot of experience. He's a 3-year starter. He just missed out on the NCAAs last year, missing out on the at-large bid, and that was really a big hunger for him, a driving force during this training season. As you see the quickness there by Trombley.
He tapped on on the left side and shot to the other side. He used his left hand to tap, but then shot to the left leg on the other side. Cross-body shot. I'm telling you, Coach Popolizzo has a problem at 125. The way that Trombley is wrestling right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a representative for NC State at the ACC Championship. He's looking good.
So riding time is locked, and now a little decision. If you're NC State, you're thinking team bonus points. He's in that major decision category right now. If he wants to get a tech fall 15 or more, he has some work to do in the final 35 seconds, so he'll cut, and the two wrestlers back in the center.
He's been shooting to Camacho's left leg. Let's see if he goes back to that. Ooh, we gotta take that. Good job. I like the fact that Camacho's still wrestling. It doesn't take long. All it takes is 2 seconds to be on your back, and then you get pinned.
Camacho right back to his offense, but he's dialing it up a little bit too late. This would be big as far as team points, trying to take away, but he is unable to get anything accomplished, so it ends up with a major decision and a strong start for Jared Trombley and North Carolina State on the road.
Really good start. Jared Trombley looked fantastic. Really, really good. Came out, shot his offense, and then had a really smothering ride. So he taps and then shot to that left leg. That left leg was giving problems to Camacho. And I tell you what, Jared Trombley has looked great tonight. Really, really strong.
133, Kyle Rini, ranked number 6 in the country. NCAA qualifier, 8-2 this year, taking on a real good-looking redshirt freshman, a freshman out of Brick, New Jersey, Brick Memorial High School, and Vinny Santaniello. Santaniello back healthy here this season after not competing last year, rehabbing from a shoulder injury. Kyle Rini, the two-time NCAA qualifier.
Fingers.
Contrasting styles in this one, and we see Santaniello launch the first shot.
Good shot, and Rini is pretty good in defending his legs. But Santaniello, he just can't stop shooting. He got in quickly, getting some confidence, but that's just the beginning of the battle, especially on this high level of wrestling here, going against an All-American.
One thing about Vinny Santaniello, he has been tested this year. He has faced number 1 and number 2. He's lost to both Vito Arujau of Cornell, and he also took a setback to Dayton Fix, and he's going to have to fight from behind here as Rini gets the first 3.
He went straight in. As soon as Santaniello dropped down, that's when Rini shot in. The last 2 matches, the first takedowns by NC State have been pretty clean takedowns. When I say clean takedowns, it didn't take 20 seconds or 30 seconds to get it. Once they get in, they finish quickly. NC State looking sharp.
Nope, came out.
Rini will ride him out of bounds, and a restart back into the center. Rock, when's the last time Rini trying to snap a 2-match losing skid? But that's the case. He did not wrestle against Hofstra. Pat Popolizio gave a lot of his starters that night off, extra time in the training room, but Rini has lost his last 2. Nick Bisakis, Ohio State. You were there for the Dayton Fix match, which Fix won 11-3.
The college wrestling season is a grind, and you can't get too high or too low. So when you have a good win, celebrate it, but go right back to work. You have a tough loss, don't dwell on it too long, learn from it, and get back to work. Usually, Sean, when you have underclassmen, freshmen, redshirt freshmen, even some true sophomores, they have a problem with bottom. Bottom is the big differentiator in college wrestling. Everybody's pretty good on top, but really when you win in the All-American rounds and the blood rounds, around the 12 and the NCAAs, it comes to moments like this. Keeping someone down or knowing how to get out.
Look at a wrestler like Santaniello, who just dominated the high school field. For a lot of these athletes, they just aren't used to being underneath unless it's in the training room or when they take that next step whether it's open tournaments during the offseason or their freshman and redshirt years at college.
You're absolutely right there, Sean. That's the challenge when you're so dominant in high school. Who takes you down? When you take down everybody, you really rarely spend time on bottom.
Let's go. Knees behind, hands in
A lot of
front.
experience with Kyle Rainey, two-time NCAA qualifier and All-American last year. Made it to the podium, placed 8th after going 3-3
Okay.
in Tulsa. Caution given up top to Arini. You're allowed a couple of cautions.
Okay,
The third one
gotta
will
pause here, okay?
be a point for
Okay,
your
here we go.
opponent.
Wait for me, I'll call you on. Set. Okay, cover legal.
So we got about 30 seconds left. Let's see what Santaniello does. He's trying to get his hips out. Good job by Arini by crowding what's called the switch. As you can see, Sean, he's leaning forward. And as you saw with Trombley at 125, and then you see with Arini keeping the pressure on the shoulders, on the palms of the hands.
Weight on the toes of Arini driving forward. Pat Popolizio certainly has to like what he's seen so far.
So right when Santaniello was lowering his level, that's when Arini was shooting and got a takedown that was just a straight-on double.
Okay, let's go.
Arini had the great run last year at the ACC Championships. He knocked off both Sam Latona and one of the Pitt fan favorites for so many years, Mickey Philippi.
Set. Cover legal.
We've watched a lot of Arini through the years, and just talk a little bit about his growth and what you've noticed as you see a quick stand up by Santaniello, and he is promptly brought right back down. 3 wrestlers ranked in the conference at 133.
And it's just a strong conference, as we said, at 133. And Santaniello did the right thing in that last scenario. He stood right up. He got right up to his feet and didn't try to tripod or stay and wrestle on the mat. He tried to get to his feet, and let's see if he does that again. Get to his feet and then fight hands once he stands up.
Set. Cover legal.
That's it. Getting right up to his feet. But Arini's just doing a good job. This is the experience of someone that's been in the trenches for such a long time. All-American, knows what it is, stop the first move, stop the second move, and then try to secure a ride.
What's the next step for Arini as he continues his progression that you're seeing? Another.
And that was a stall call on the
give
top.
Arini the stall.
And that's something that you're going to see more and more this year. There's an emphasis on top stalling. The officials have been told, look, it's not about riding, is he working for a turn?
Set. Cover
And
legal.
the head official, Fred Majerus, said Arini was just hanging on.
And with that change, we've talked to wrestlers, guys that are your typical grinders that like to break down the opponent and ride. It's a lot more difficult in today's age of this sport.
Perhaps we need to change the vernacular and stop calling it riding. Riding isn't any incentive, just riding. Maybe we can think of something else, fans. Something, I mean, with turn, he's trying to turn him. But it's very difficult to turn someone in college. These guys are very, very good. And you can see, Arini is doing what he has to do. Now he has to kind of get around, move to the side, keep the pressure forward.
Both wrestlers improve.
But I like Santaniello's trying to get to his feet. Now he's got to kind of get his hips away.
Down.
Well, the common theme so far through the first 2 weights is the ability of North Carolina State to ride. Pitt just simply cannot get out from underneath, and as a result, this large crowd on a Friday night inside the Fitzgerald, relatively quiet.
That's true. And as I mentioned earlier, that's what NC State is known for. Really smothering top wrestling.
Out of bounds.
Maybe we should call it that, John, instead of riding, top wrestling. Top wrestling.
Cole Matthews used that term with us.
Yeah, we'll call it top wrestling. We're not going to say he's riding. He's wrestling tough on
Okay,
top.
here we go.
There we go. Tough wrestling on top. No more ride.
You were always the creative one of the 2 of us, so I'm not surprised that you came up with the vernacular.
Cover legal.
That's right. Hashtag tough wrestling on top.
1.
And we're going to have close to over 4 minutes on top.
The first period takedown by Orini, followed by 4+ minutes of riding time as he closes out this second period. And Vinny Santaniello gonna have to try to get something figured out offensively. Don't forget, here's tomorrow's ACC Network men's basketball doubleheader. It all starts when Georgia Tech takes on Virginia Tech in Blacksburg at 5 Eastern. Then we head to the JMA Wireless Dome. Syracuse hosts NC State. Men's basketball, a doubleheader tomorrow, right here on the ACC Network.
Little miscommunication there. I thought that there was something going on where it seemed like Orini wanted down, but he already said neutral, something of that nature. But nevertheless, starting the third period on our feet. Riding time is secure, meaning that Orini is definitely going to get
Work through this.
1 point, so the score is essentially 4-0.
Work through this. Stalemate, both up. Here we go.
And here's one of those situations where the new rule and the 3-point takedown makes it interesting. You have a match here where Santaniello has given up over 4+ minutes of riding time. The one takedown yet, he is only a takedown away from getting right back into it.
That's a good point there. Here's where a 3-point takedown does make a big difference. One takedown and you got a 2-point match. At this point, Santaniello has really got to present himself. He's got to go after Orini. Orini does not have to do much of anything. He does have a stall. Oh, good reshot there.
Neutral, we're still neutral. 3.
That was a good reshot by Orini.
Still
There was
red.
a fake there by
Still
Santaniello,
red.
and Orini went right after.
Still
Now you can see he's
red.
about to cut him and see if he
Still
can get
red.
another takedown
Still red.
to get a major
Still
decision,
red.
meaning winning by 8 points or more.
Neutral.
Keep in mind, he already has the riding point lock, so in essence, it's a 7-1 score right now, and he is going to get 3, so he is into the major decision category. Some late gas from Kyle Orini.
NC State made this trip to wrestle. They are looking really good in the first 2 weight classes. Smother and ride, very good offensively, and if it's this way for the next 8 matches, it's going to be a long night for the Panthers.
Orini will run his record to 6-2 this year against ranked opponents. A 10-1 win against the talented redshirt freshman Vinny Santaniello, and Kyle Orini and the Wolfpack off and running here in the Steel City tonight. Back-to-back major decisions from their 2 ACC champs at the top of this lineup. Trombley and Orini, they'll look to 141. Pitt trying to get on the board for the first time. These two have met the last 2 ACC championships. Will it be Jack or Matthews? This full house of Pitt fans needing something to cheer about. They're hoping Cole Matthews can deliver. 141, our next stop. It is a rematch of the last 2 ACC championships. The wrestler on the right, Cole Matthews, your 2-time defending ACC champ. 4-0 against Ryan Jack, who comes in with a mark of 11-2. Matthews had that great All-American run a couple of years ago. Has stumbled a little bit in the non-conference portion of the schedule. Ryan Jack, the 2-time NCAA qualifier, trying to figure out the magic recipe to get past Cole Matthews.
Indeed it is, and talking to both of these guys this week, they know what each one has. They know each of them have a very particular style, and it's going to be a chess match. You start to wonder, who has more pressure here? Does Cole feel like he needs this win? A good shot. That is a takedown. Sean, NC State has come to wrestle. They are attacking early.
Nope, get out of it. Stop. Let it go. Let it go.
Potentially dangerous with the right side of the body. So our third first period takedown by a Wolfpack wrestler.
Wait
Not
for
just
me,
that
Red.
within the
Bottom
first
man
30
set.
seconds.
Top man, cover
This was
legal.
an early start, so now it changes how Cole Matthews wrestles. Many times he's a little more defensive. Now he has to really open up.
One.
Matthews gets away. Cole wrestling in his final year.
Fingers.
Competing, the battle-tested veteran. What a pillar of consistency he has been. His 9-9 mark, not characteristic of the success that he has had throughout his career, but we talked to Keith Gavin, no panic in the pit room. Plenty of time to get things corrected, and gonna have to showcase his offense down too early.
And I tell you what, Ryan Jack is not showing any fear of Cole Matthews' defense. He is attacking, he's moving his feet, and he's shooting to both legs. But we've seen Cole Matthews many, many, many years. It doesn't take much for him to explode.
Center, work center.
He goes to his underhook, but what Jack is doing, he's putting his head on the same side as the underhook.
Green.
They got a stall call against Cole Matthews.
Matthews can't believe it. He just realized that he got tagged with that stall call. You saw the look of puzzlement on his face, and I'm sure the pit corner wanting an explanation as well.
You know what? I want an explanation too. He had an underhook working him to the outside. That's a head scratcher right there. That's a surprise right there. I don't see how that was a stall.
Fred Majerison out of Colorado Springs, our head official tonight, assisted by Nate Chapman from Hollidaysburg, PA. 3-1 Jack. Jack comes in with the shot. Countered here by Matthews. Can't quite swallow up the head. Two wrestlers disengage.
Keep the hands legal. Keep the hands legal.
This is now they're starting to open up a little more.
Fingers, let him go. Fingers, let him go.
I should say Cole Matthews is opening up a little more because Ryan Jack has been open from, as you say, the opening salvo.
That's me. All right. Hey, keep the
Brock,
hands
we
up.
both
Hey,
had a chance to talk with these wrestlers this week in our call-ins and talking with
Hey,
Cole
keep the
Matthews.
fingers up.
He
Hey,
told you
there you go.
he's gotten a little bit lazy with his defense, which kind of left us both speechless, because of any guy in the country that gets lazy with defense, you would not think it would be Cole Matthews.
And that's, man, this is fantastic attacking by Ryan Jack. Short time here. He's going to try and push that knee up across. Did he get it? Not yet. No. Three. Before the buzzer. Before the buzzer. Now, Fred Majerison, the head official, is going to talk to the assistant official, and they're going to say, was it there or not? So this looks like it's going to be an official call. So at this point, where I don't see any reason why that wasn't. See, I couldn't see where he was holding his other foot. So from that angle, I don't know why that wasn't a takedown 2 seconds earlier. But if we can see that again, let's see what he was doing with the other foot. Was he holding the other foot to give him any reason? I thought the takedown was there earlier.
So they are going to take another look at it. You see the two officials over by the scores table to see if indeed it was a laid three. Rock, what are we looking for to secure the three?
Well, I see the leg hook now. Cole Matthews looks like he's holding the ankle, but I don't think that ankle is really preventing the takedown. And so he's saying, look, come on. Coach Gavin's thinking, I got a stall call when my guy had an underhook on the out of bounds, and on this, when you have that situation right there, when you're holding the ankle, nothing changed from that 4 seconds ago. So if you're going to hold it, you got to keep holding it. You can't say all of a sudden now it is a takedown. He was holding the same position from earlier to when he got the takedown.
The position never changed.
Exactly. So if you're not going to call it early, you can't going to say, well, something has changed. It didn't look like much change from 4 seconds earlier.
And for the record, Gavin did not have to use his challenge brick. Good job by the officiating crew to initiate this review themselves. So that's why they are over there as they have a lengthy discussion. And let's listen in to see what they have decided. It's a big moment in this match.
What's that?
So here's the thing. In that scenario, if you're going to call that takedown, you got to call it quickly.
No takedown.
Exactly. So he waved it off. My point was, if you're going to call it, you got to call it early, as opposed to waiting and waiting and waiting when nothing changed. So it is, nothing's changed. Nothing has changed here. The ankle is still being secured. There's no difference. So good call to wave it off, because if you're going to call that takedown, you got to call it as soon as it happens, not wait till it develops, because nothing changed.
Pat Papalizio wanting an explanation. Matthews ready to go back to work.
Green, your choice.
Trailing by 2, and he will start underneath.
Second period. Okay, here we go, guys. Okay, bottom man set. Okay, top man cover.
That was a big call for both wrestlers.
Absolutely, it was. Not a real explosive start off the whistle. Methodically, Matthews trying to work up to his base. This is a part of the sport that Jack has improved on the last couple of years, but he's unable to. Well, he still kept latched, and now Matthews gets away, looks for that shot near the edge, but the two wrestlers go out of bounds.
The crowd needs to get into this. This is what they need. They need to get people pumped up, get the adrenaline going for Cole Matthews. Jack's doing a good job. Now, here's the same thing. He had the underhook, and he got called for stalling earlier. And so, same situation here, and he got called for stalling, and called an action call. You can see Cole Matthews starting to pick it up a little bit, understanding that he needs to get a takedown.
Head tap by Jack. Here's Spike. Near miss by Matthews. The brick comes in from Gavin, and we're going to have another stoppage. And now this crowd starting to become a little bit more engaged.
I love the brick here because they know this. So watch him go for a little duck right here, and he just spins behind him. The question is reaction time. This year, fans, it's not the hand touch or hand down, it is reaction time. And in this situation right here, when you have two quality opponents, reaction time has to get shorter. In that situation with these high-level wrestlers, the reaction time, let's see. Watch the shot. So, beyond reaction time, that situation is a takedown in my view, because the reaction time is so much closer when you have these guys. So let's see what the call is.
Okay, after further review, okay, three
takedown.
And Gavin says, give me my brick back.
What's that? What's that?
That's about as demonstrative as you're going to see
Yeah.
Keith Gavin.
Yeah, he threw that brick like an overhand pitcher. And that's the thing, reaction time is always subjected to the official. But when you have these two guys that no one would be surprised if they're both All-Americans. Watch this. The wind up and over the head. And then he gave him an eye. He didn't even blink, he just looked at him.
It's the stare afterward that burns holes in walls.
Pitt knows how important this match is. Not just for the team in this team score, but just for the confidence of Cole Matthews.
Matthews, when you look at his history with Jack, the common denominator, they've all been low scoring, they've all been tight.
4-3.
They've
Score
met in
should
the
be
regular
4, so we're gonna
season,
have
they've
3
met
and
twice
1.
in
So,
the
no, hang on.
ACC finals.
So it should be 4.
Here they are once again for the third straight year colliding. Inside Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. I gotta believe this is going back to maybe the clock and what the time should be.
It was a takedown
Yep.
and an escape for Jack.
Okay, so the escape Jack, they'll get the riding time corrected as well. It was really brief.
Yep.
Okay, here
it was
we
a
go,
bang
guys.
bang.
So 5-4 when the dust settles.
Yeah.
And remember,
All right.
Cole Matthews has a
Good.
stall against him.
This me.
This is what
All
we
right, here we go.
expected for this match. This is what we call the match of the night. And they got to go after each other. Two
Keep the
quality
hands
guys
legal.
here,
Keep the
All-American
hands
type of
legal.
guys. Another shot there. At this point, it's the waterfall. And both guys will be very patient here. Got to see what's going to happen. Cole Matthews is using his left leg at the back of the head, and he's going to roll through. Nothing yet. No, nothing. Look at this. Nothing. We got a takedown by Cole Matthews. Patience right there.
That looked like the old Cole Matthews. Vulnerable position, able to turn defense into offense.
And a quick escape by Ryan Jack. Hot damn, we got a good one there.
Keep those hands clean.
Second period clock winding down. Matthews has put up some points. A big second period, and this crowd voicing their approval.
Just patience right there. Cole Matthews puts the foot behind the head, and now it's just right when Jack goes to push back and sit on his head. That's when Cole Matthews starts to roll through, and it's a scramble. Scramble means that there's no real wrestling. It's just a feel who's going to come out on top. And Cole Matthews looked like he got it at the last moment.
Those hands flat. Set on bottom.
And this is the most points that Cole Matthews has scored against Ryan Jack.
Quick caution given to Matthews and a quicker escape for Ryan Jack. Riding time not a factor. 8-6 Matthews with the lead. Pitt trying to strike the wing column for the first time in the third weight of the night.
This is everybody's a little antsy here. They know that Cole Matthews is very good at defense, and he does not have to attack. He has to wait. Well, actually, he doesn't have to wait. He can wait until Jack attacks.
Rocky, go back to that first period 3 by Jack. Does he go back to that same type of weaponry to try to get in on Matthews?
He has gotten in. The difference is he's finished faster in the earlier part of this match. But that last takedown, when he was in, it took a little time. And when you give Cole Matthews time, that's when he's able to use his ability to scramble and funk. We got 1 minute left. There's going to be some fireworks coming up. Good shot. Cole Matthews turning it on. Turning it on. We gotta keep wrestling here. He's got a stall call.
Continuation of action out of bounds. Gavin and Pitt on their feet.
Now, Cole Matthews can't stop because of the 3-point takedown, and he has a stall against him. So a takedown and a stall call, it's tied up.
Damn, mate. Okay, stay out of the finger lock, guys.
Ryan Jack has to keep attacking.
Stay out of the finger lock.
Keep
That's
attacking.
one thing about Jack, he will keep the foot on the gas. Great conditioning. See him try to take that odd angle, captures that left foot, trying to grab that second leg, and he does. So Jack gets the 3, and he'll immediately cut.
This is what we just talked about. So now it is 12 to 10, high-scoring match against guys that are really well wrestling minds. Jack has got to keep moving forward. He's got to shoot. He just can't stand here.
Fingers, get out of it.
Ryan Jack has had the flair for the late drama. Can he find it on the road tonight?
Watch the stall call here.
A takedown for Jack wins it. Matthews just bunkers down, seals it with 3. Pitt picks up their first win of the night.
25 points scored. This was the match of the night for a reason. The Fitzgerald Fieldhouse on their feet, needing a win by Cole Matthews. Great wrestling by both wrestlers here. Cole Matthews, big win. Here's the last scenario. Stayed on his knees and watch him just attack forward and get the last takedown, 15-5. I tell you what, they needed this win. Great wrestling, lots of scoring. Match of the night for every reason.
149. Jackson Arrington, ranked number 3, 12-3 this year. He has been a bonus point machine, taking on a familiar foe, Finn Solomon. These two were part of the same recruiting class. They shared the same training room at NC State. Solomon making the decision to transfer this offseason, come back home. He grew up in Murraysville, PA, so a big match for him as he takes on the NCAA qualifier Arrington.
Arrington has wrestled very well this year.
We're
Coach
neutral.
Hall said that he doesn't think that he's not going to become an All-American.
Arrington gets to his offense early. Jackson had the strong run at Nationals his first go-around. He went 3-2. He reached the round of 12, which means you're only one match away from the podium.
Center in.
Losses to Yanni Diakamahalis, Brock Mahler. Coach Hall told us this guy, when you look at Jackson Arrington from last year to this season, and without hesitation, Hall said he is bigger and he is stronger.
He looks big.
Gained close to 10 pounds of muscle this offseason. In fact, Coach Hall was still feeling the effects of sparring with Jackson Arrington when we talked to him. His shoulder, he said, might not feel the same the rest of the year.
Wrestlers, work out of this.
It takes a lot of humility for a coach to say that my wrestler is it's not out of me.
Good.
And he said he yelled at him afterwards, not because he beat him. He said, "Why don't you do this every time you wrestle?" And then Jackson Arrington was like, "You got a point there, coach."
Side-to-side motion by Arrington, trying to get to his particular angle that he likes to hit. Solomon, the collar tie, head underneath, and finally Finn Solomon clears it away. 3-1, halfway through period one. Entertaining start tonight.
Good hip control by Jackson Arrington.
Keep progressing here. Keep progressing.
If there's no action,
Stalemate.
the
Both
official will
up.
call stalemate. Stalemate means that no one can improve,
Real guys.
and they'll restart.
This is such a great state for wrestling. Arrington hailing from the state of Pennsylvania, Forest Hill High School, and there's been a pipeline from the state of PA down to Raleigh. Pat Papalizio has recruited this area well. Obviously, the Hidley brothers a big part of that and the success that they have enjoyed. Many wrestlers have followed since.
Arrington is continuing to shoot a high C to the right leg of Finn Solomon. There's two ways to think about it after a big match like we just had. If you're on the winning side, you're pumped up, but then also if your guy just lost, you're pumped up too. So I think the adrenaline is high on both wrestlers here. One to keep the momentum going, and one to avenge his probably training partner's loss.
Arrington carries a 3-1 lead into the second period. Rock and I are off to Reynolds Coliseum next Friday night. Friday night duels, the Rob Cole era underway in Chapel Hill. This will be a lot of fun. North Carolina, NC State next Friday. A little bit of a later start, 8:30 Eastern. Hope you can join us right here on the ACC Network.
And I tell you what, the NC State fans are going to let Rob Cole know what they feel about him, and Rob Cole is going to relish in it.
Still green, one red.
Future of this conference so bright. The addition of Stanford next year. You have Cole coming back to coach his alma mater. It's going to be a lot of fun. See what happens, transpires over the next several seasons. Arrington the escape, 4-1 lead, 30 seconds into the second period.
Solomon was able to get in on one shot, but since then he really hasn't been on the offensive when it comes to shooting.
You look around this arena, there is a lot of red, and a lot of that is because of the connections to this state. Jackson Arrington won 3 Pennsylvania state championships. He was part of the powerhouse program at Forest Hills, wrestling for Jake Strayer.
Improve, both wrestlers improve here.
Solomon is doing a good job of slowing the match down.
Rock, in a situation like this, obviously these two wrestlers familiar with one another. They shared the training room. They battled in wrestle-offs a season ago. Do you like taking on an opponent that you know well and that knows you well, or do you like mixing it up a little bit, changing the strategy as you take on somebody in which there's a certain familiarity?
Well, it depends. It depends. If you've wrestled a guy and you've dominated him, then you want to wrestle him and don't really care. But if you guys were neck and neck the whole time, then yes, it could be a little awkward. That's why coaches don't really like wrestle-offs, because You're wrestling a guy that you wrestle every single day for every week, on and on. So are you really showing that you're a better wrestler by wrestling someone that you wrestle all the time? In most instances, no.
Take a look at this weight, 149. Rich Lovett, Nebraska, ranked #1. Caleb Henson, Virginia Tech. Arrington in at #3.
That 2-3 match between Henson and Arrington on February 23rd for Friday Night Duels, it's going to be a good one.
Two still very young wrestlers, might we add, in the national rankings in this conference this week.
Who have not taken a red shirt.
Still you red? Yes.
Arrington unable to crack Solomon back down to the mat, so Finn Solomon picks up
the finger lock.
his second single pointer, and it's 4-2.
4-2, and this is where the joy of the three-point takedown makes a difference. Finn Solomon has been shooting to Jackson Arrington's right leg, but he's been shooting with his arms. He hasn't been able to get his hips underneath him. And oftentimes when you shoot with your arms, it's easier for your opponent to sprawl and you're in a tough situation. When he shoots, he needs to shoot and get his hips underneath him.
See the improved hand fighting from Finn Solomon. That's been an area that he has worked on. A late shot by Arrington here in this third period. Has the leg. A whizzer by Solomon trying to counter.
And Solomon is tricky here.
We're neutral.
And as he had that rubber knee, see, he was a little tricky there. Knee going in directions you don't expect him to go. And he went back to that shot. He's just got to get his hips underneath him. He's reaching. He can steal this, but he's got to create something quickly. Finn Solomon can steal this match. It's only 4-2, three-point takedown.
Work through this.
Fighting time not a factor. A takedown wins it if you're Solomon, but he's got to try to clear this tie-up. He'll get some help from the official. Stalemate, 23 seconds. So Finn Solomon's going to have to roll the die a little bit, take some chances now.
Take a chance.
Half-hearted low shot. Arrington well aware what's coming. Short time as we hit 10 seconds. Inside trip attempt by Solomon. Now he gets to that underhook. Just can't quite finish it up. And Jackson Arrington, in a matchup between two former teammates, is going to come away with the win. Respect between these two Pennsylvania natives. 4-2. Arrington gets the Wolfpack back in the win column.
Good wrestling by both wrestlers. Jackson Arrington, he's got to realize that as he wrestles more, there's more film on him, and because of that, he had to win. But this was the match. Cole Matthews, and then Jackson Arrington with that first takedown. We got another match coming up. Ed Scott, All-American against Jared Kelsler, 157.
What a great crowd inside Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Yeah, there's some Wolfpack red in attendance and a Chiefs fan here as well. Rock, don't take that personally. You're Ravens and Chiefs colliding this weekend. You take a look at what's happened so far. NC State has won 3 of the first 4. Matthews gets in the win column, a 15-10 battle with Ryan Jack. Arrington, Arini, Tremblay all picking up wins.
That guy and I are going to have a few words at the end of this match.
Going to show him the old-fashioned Rock Harrison patting a double leg, aren't you?
That's right. Show us some Roquan Smith, middle linebacker.
157, Jared Kessler, the redshirt freshman, taking on Ed Scott, the sophomore. Another matchup featuring two wrestlers from this great state of Pennsylvania. Scott, the two-time NCAA qualifier, All-American last year. He went 6-2 at Nationals.
I like what he just did there. I like that even better. No takedown. He's got to bring him and secure him to the mat. No hand touch anymore.
Hey, I got it.
So what he did a jab step, got Kelsler to respond, and then he went to a snap down, and then he went to a shot after it. 3 separate things happened to get to that takedown.
Something that you've seen from Scott, I thought really especially last year, the diversity of his offense that he can hit.
Nothing yet. Nope.
He's moved from being just an underhook guy that would just throw headlocks to now creating offense from the underhook, attacking legs.
tell as you hit the halfway point here tonight at 57. The playbook for NC State was trying to get those early takedowns. And now you're going to see that tilt. He's going to get some swipes, and Scott's going to add to his total.
Holding it for you. Still seeing.
Four swipes equals 4 points.
4 near fall. Still you, Red. Still you, Red. Out of bounds.
When we
Bring you
talked to
down.
Coach Popolizio and Coach Hall, they had a very conscious decision on how NC State prepared for the season.
Okay, knees behind.
Before, they had different training cycles, but now they said, we were going to give our guys more of a break. We were going so hard, and they weren't prepared as they felt they should. And they were very honest, said they could have performed better at the NCAAs. And so now, they've been very conscious on how the wrestlers have prepared. And right now, at the start of the conference season, they look well rested and they look pretty sharp, NC State.
Popolizio's Wolfpack coming off another top 10 finish at Nationals. That's now 3 straight years where they have placed inside the top 10.
Look for another tilt here. Now, fans, you may say he's rolling to his back. When you have that wrist and you're trying to roll through, it's very safe because the opponent can't post over your body. Let's go right back to it again. You see it? Cross the wrist and look for backwards.
Yeah.
Look at the head right behind the head of his opponent. Really keeping the pressure from one side to the other side. You see how he went from left to the right? Good top wrestling. I won't call it riding. Good top wrestling.
And that is one way to avoid the stall call. Constantly looking to get to your offense. You mentioned moving side to side, going with that wrist, going to the claw, mixing up your looks from that top spot.
Right. So here's the underhook. He had snapped down earlier, and then he just went to a single, secured both legs, popped the hips, brings him down to the mat for the takedown.
Hey, I got it.
And here's the back points. Tilt, 4 swipes, 7-0 lead for returning All-American Ed Scott.
Still green. Still you green.
Jared Kessler redshirted last year for the Panthers. He went 11-4, wrestling mainly in just 3 open tournaments. And hey, look at these middleweights. Keith Gavin talked about it. This is the area that Pitt wants to try to build some depth.
When he had that underhook, he locked behind the head, and that's a sign that there's going to be a headlock coming. Looks like Ed Scott's going to come up to the leg, and he's going to attack the whizzer.
Clears out his arm, reaches for that backside leg, and gets control right before they head out of bounds.
11-0 for fans new to wrestling. Once an opponent has 15-point differential, they stop the match. It's called a technical fall. Good shot there.
Still Red. Red is still in control. You're still in control.
Split the legs. He wants to get between both legs. He doesn't want the right leg of Ed Scott to get to the outside.
Still Red. Still Red.
And he gets a takedown. Good wrestling there.
1, neutral.
A little bit of life late. It's the takedown. A quick point, though, for Scott.
Fingers.
12-3 advantage. You see over 2.5 minutes of riding time. 45 seconds remaining second period.
We're neutral. We're still neutral.
Talked about the run last year for Ed Scott, All-American. He went 6-2. He actually registered 16 points for the Wolfpack at Nationals. That was the most of any NC State wrestler.
Work through this position. Both wrestlers work through this.
In 2024, he had a good Keen Invitational. That's always a tournament that a lot of people watch, a good measuring stick early in the season in Las Vegas. At 7-1, his only loss was to Ohio's Peyton Keller.
So it looked like he didn't get that takedown.
Scott with the 10-point lead, third period underway. Both of these wrestlers won state titles here in Pennsylvania. Kessler won his state championship just a couple of years ago at 160 pounds. Connellsville, while Scott was a two-time Pennsylvania champion. Those 2 years, he won a combined 79-0. As we talked about, he was made aware of NC State. He told us last year because of the Hidleys and the success they had growing up in a rural part of Pennsylvania, central PA.
Kelsey's still attacking, and I like that. Ed Scott's an All-American, and he's still keeping his back towards the center, right in the pit. But the All-American was right into that single. And he's going to take his time to walk up that thigh and look for him to reach to the other leg.
We're still neutral. We're still neutral.
And at this point, he's going to try and bring him down to the mat to get the takedown.
We're still neutral.
Granby there on that roll from Kessler. Scott stuck with him like glue and gets the 3.
Escape,
and he shows
neutral,
the official that he wants
escape.
him to get on his feet, back to his feet. And he's trying to get this technical fall. And takedown will do it.
This will be the 3rd bonus point victory of the night. The first 5 weights for North Carolina State. Major decisions earlier. Kessler shoots in. See, there's hips by Scott.
And I like the fact that Kessler is still trying to attack. Not enough. And Ed Scott does what he was expected to do. Bonus point decision by Ed Scott, 16-3. NC State in clear control after the first 5 matches.
15th win of the year for Scott. Nearly half of those have come via bonus points. His 7th bonus point win went to his offense early and often. The tilt in the first period. The Wolfpack rolling on the road.
There is the athleticism that you were talking about.
Oh! He stuck him! He stuck him!
5 individuals are going for their 3rd ACC championships, and they want to be in ACC history.
It might seem like a long way away, but boy, once you hit this first Friday night duel, the season flies by, and it won't be long before we are in Chapel Hill and the ACC Wrestling Championship. NC State has won that ACC title 5 consecutive years. One of their weight classes where there's still some questions is 165. Tonight they send out Derek Fields, Holden Heller, the 2-time NCAA qualifier, year 2 here in Pitt after transferring over from Hofstra.
We did say that 165 is still up in the air, and that's what the coaches said, but after the performance at 125, I would say 165 and 125 are up for grabs for NC State.
Derek Fields, redshirt sophomore, Brunswick, Ohio, Brunswick High School. Has been the guy that Popolizio has turned to 3 of the last 4 duels. Well, for Holden Heller, one of the captains, a 7-4 mark this year for Pitt, and just immediately became one of those leaders inside the wrestling room the moment he stepped on campus.
Fields here has to trust his offense. And you say, why does he trust his offense? It's early because Holden Heller, his body goes in different ways, his knees go in, his hips go in different ways. And sometimes when you know a guy is really creative and has very flexible knees, you hold back. But Fields has got to attack, and attack often.
What did Keith Gavin describe Holden Heller's body as? A gummy doll? Is that was the proper terminology? As you see Fields come in with some offense, and the flexibility of Heller right on cue.
He's got to keep at it. Keep at it.
Center,
It's got to be volume attacks.
Stay center.
He was in there deep. Now he felt the feel of Heller, and Fields has got to go back to it. When you have such good defense that Heller has, you can keep moving forward. And he said he's worked on his basic defense, head, hands defense. Basic first, don't let people get to his legs, but if they do, he's still very comfortable. The point is to make people have to work to get to the legs, but if they get past that defense, he's just as dangerous.
Heller with back-to-back shots, tried to hit the high C a few moments ago. Quite the speed on that last shot, easily corralled by Derek Fields. Fields has that head buried underneath, and we'll get the whistle and the stoppage. 67 seconds, first period, no score. You talk about a wrestler really blossoming under the guidance of a coach and really enjoying every moment. You get that sense when you talk to Holden Heller and his experience the past year and a half wrestling for Keith Gavin. Fields back in on a shot.
Danger green.
This is the creativeness that you see in Heller, but Fields is in a good position. He's scissored the legs, he's got him hooked. He's trying to pull his right leg through, right arm through rather.
Danger green.
And this is where it becomes very difficult to wrestle Heller.
We're still neutral.
And we'll see this over and over again.
Keep progressing here.
Thinking about what's the next step, being very careful. And as long as they keep moving like this, it won't be a stalemate situation. Look, that's what we're talking about, the knee. That's about the knee situation.
Referee is going to stop it with that knee getting bent awkwardly to the dismay of Tommy Gann, who's smack dab in the center of the trio of Wolfpack coaches.
That knee was going in such a bad direction that the assistant referee, Nate Chapman, put his hand up for potentially dangerous.
No, we asked Holden, where'd you get this flexibility? And he says he credited his father at a young age for putting a focus on flexibility and stretching, and also judo.
And this, look at that knee. It's not supposed to go that way. And this was the first shot by Derek Fields. And again, he's got to keep attacking. He wasn't that far away from getting a takedown. Well, my point is that he's got to keep shooting. He was a little far away, but he's got to figure it out. And you figure it out by shooting more.
Heller into a stand-up as we start period number 2. Fields patiently working to try to improve his grip. Tries to suck Heller back. Hand fight continues, and now he takes Heller right to his back. Heller able to get back to his base and avoid a dangerous situation there, but 3 near fall points, and Fields goes up on top.
That's where the flexibility and ingenuity went against Heller. Staying fundamental by Fields, gets his 3 swipes up 3-0. Heller went right to his back, and Fields capitalized on it.
Look at this weight for North Carolina State. You have A.J. Kovacs, the sophomore. Matty Singleton using his red shirt this year after an injury. That was the youngster they turned to a lot last year who wrestled really well. So good depth for the Wolfpack at 65.
Get out of it, guys. Let him go. Get out of the finger lace.
He went right back to it. And that's what we're talking about. You keep shooting.
We're neutral.
The more you're in these positions with guys that are very creative, you start to get a better feel and try to figure things out. But you got to be careful here.
We're neutral.
And this is a situation where Heller's going to try and put him in danger. Danger. And then this is just, I can't explain this. Just things are happening so fast. Rolling back and forth, arching. Looks like we may get a stalemate here because nothing's going on.
Each wrestler grabbing the other's foot. Officials doing a nice job of letting the action continue.
No takedown. Even though he's got the ankle, he's got to drive across.
And that's exactly what he does to get the 3 unanswered points toward the end of the period.
Big swing right there. We were talking about you gotta keep shooting, and here he had a foot. Look, he's just holding on to like the Achilles heel, and then he just put on his running shoes and said, I'm just gonna go forward. Gets the takedown. Here's a near fall. He rolls to his back. Look, rolls to the back. And as soon as he got there were swipes. 3 near fall, 0.71.
See, out of the finger lace.
Both of these wrestlers, certainly wrestling families. We'll see Holden's brother coming up a little bit later for Pitt. Derek Fields, his brother Matt was a member of the Wolfpack wrestling team.
Here's the question here. Fields might be feeling good and see if he can get another takedown, make this a bonus point win. Holden Heller is very difficult to wrestle, but Fields is doing a great job of not putting himself in too bad of a position.
Let it go.
And then when he's in these weird situations, he stayed fundamentally sound.
Heller with those long arms trying to reach, but we've seen Fields capture the head on a number of times.
Work through this.
Slowing
Stay
down
center.
the offense for Holden Heller. 60 seconds to go.
In on the shot. And at this point, Fields has to be solid. He hasn't had to put himself in a bad position, and he's scooting his hips away, which is good. He can continue to put his hips down low and his shoelaces to the mat. Makes it very difficult for Heller to try and hold onto that leg when the hips are getting spushed into the person.
Stalemate. Aparicio showing his dance moves. Maybe that's a carryover from being in Nashville with the Journeyman Collegiate Classics.
He was trying to show a little snap and spin and move, but looks like he was doing a wop.
It's a line dance in the country world, isn't it? 22 seconds. Impressive showing here by Derek Fields against the two-time NCAA qualifier. Fields flexing his muscle. He'll give up that stall call late. Won't impact it at all. He's comfortable in this position. And Derek Fields with a real impressive, solid, workman-like performance on the road tonight.
Embarrassment of riches that they have at 65 and 125 for NC State. Really tough wrestler to wrestle in the Heller, and Derek Fields really wrestled well. Didn't put himself in situations that were too bad and did well.
174, Alex Faison, NC State. Looking for his first win against a ranked opponent. Plenty of wins for Luca Augustine, who just keeps getting better and better. Building off his NCAA tournament run last year as the number 28 seed. Augustine off to a strong start at 10-2.
One thing Luca Augustine has done, he's gotten more offensive. Always been good defensively, but now he's more offensive.
Fingers,
a lot of experience, youth in this one. The experience for Faison, year number 6 competing at NC State. It's been a tough lineup to crack, but he has stayed with the process, persevered through some really good wrestlers in front of him, and now for the second straight year, this is his weight. Qualified last year, made nationals, went 0-2 in Tulsa. His final go-around out of Whispering Pines, North Carolina, Luca Augustine, the talented sophomore, Waynesburg at Pennsylvania.
Faison really came on the scene, and people took notice when he wrestled Mekhi Lewis at Virginia Tech so close in the time that they wrestled last year.
Here we go. Set.
Augustine on a roll. He's won 4 straight entering tonight. But you go back to last year, and this was a matchup that Keith Gavin was really looking forward to because Faison was able to get Augustine twice a season ago.
Center, work center.
A year of experience from that freshman year in the lineup to the sophomore year is a huge jump. Even when you redshirt, you still don't know what it takes to go through the grind of making weight several times during the week and going up and down with getting yourself ready mentally, still classes. So that sophomore year is when you see a lot of wrestlers make a great jump.
And both coaches alluded to that point. That's some of the most enjoyable moments as an assistant coach or a head coach. That redshirt year, that freshman to sophomore year, where you see those leaps and bounds and the accomplishments, especially when you put in a redshirt year, which is not fun.
Really good shot, but really strong hips.
Get out of it. Let him go, guys.
Augustine.
Get out of the lace. Let those fingers go.
Faison knows that that underhook is coming.
Guys, stay out of the finger lace. Both guys.
From Augustine.
Both guys, stay out of the finger lace, okay? Here we go. Set.
As soon as Augustine goes for that underhook, Faison is getting out of that underhook. The underhook is when the wrestler puts his arm literally under the shoulder and in the armpit.
Augustine has been tough to score on this year. Bright young student, 4.0 GPA, attacked by Faison, and he is able to crack the armor for 3. Good job there by Alex Faison.
Faison wants to try and keep him down as long as he can, and certainly Augustine wants to get out.
1, 2.
He's going to try and hold here, and he'll take the stall call here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's a stall call. 7 seconds left.
7 seconds.
You can. He went down and reached for the left ankle, and he kept attacking to the other hip while he kept the ankle and got the takedown.
Okay.
Good
Red,
job when you
cover
attack
legal.
Augustine. You don't want to attack around the hips because his hips are so strong.
Top guy. Don't roll on him, okay? Don't roll. Hit set. Automate set. Okay, cover legal. Let's go.
7 seconds. One more whistle. Quick stand up. Augustine trying to get that coveted point late. Good mat return. Strong with authority from Faison, and he'll finish the period with the ride and a 3-0 lead. Don't forget, every Thursday we'll have a women's basketball doubleheader for you right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. And next week we'll have 2 great rivalry matchups. Number 19, Virginia Tech hosts Virginia, 6 o'clock Eastern. Then at 8, it's North Carolina battling number 7, NC State. All the action next Thursday on ACC Network.
I like the fact that Luka Augustine went to a standard straight-up stand-up. Didn't wait to get the quad pod and work his way. He just stood right up.
He's on so strong in the upper body. Keep an eye on his left arm, his underhook that he has firmly entrenched on Augustine. Trying to steer him a certain way.
Haven't seen any really leg attacks from Augustine so far.
It's a lot of pressure, Rock, on Augustine. The back of the neck, torque being driven down, and separation. Luka Augustine getting his breath. Faison feeling pretty good. Still early, second period.
One of the things Faison has had to work on is being able to finish matches. He's had good starts, but at the end, he hasn't been as strong at some matches.
Fingers, let him go. Get out of it.
You see that, Sean? Immediately when Luka Augustine goes for an underhook with his left arm, Faison wants no parts of it and swims out.
Get out of it. Let it go. Both guys, let it go. Stay out of the finger lace.
Good re-attack. So he has time. He has plenty of time to try and what we call shelf it. So good defense there by Luka Augustine to kick out.
Augustine trying to find some offense. 20 seconds, period 2. Second year as Pitt starter. Gavin told us last year after the NCAAs that
Stay
there's a realization that Luka was not far off from getting to the podium. This year you look at his setbacks, most recently a 3-2 loss. Plot last year at Nationals, who was the 5 seed for Oklahoma State. A couple of narrow setbacks this season, so he's right there, and he's comfortable in these low-scoring, close matches.
Control.
Augustine immediately says, let's go on our feet.
Okay, here we go, guys.
This is where 4-1, 3-point takedown ties it up.
So Augustine will go to work. Faison behind the first period takedown, leading this. NC State in control in this ACC opener for both schools.
Important that Faison finishes this match strong. Oh, good re-attack, knee pick. It seems like they've scouted that and they said as soon as Augustine does that, we're going to go to a knee pick or an ankle pick.
Out easy.
That was so well coached. So as soon as he does a duck under, knee pick. We said it before, Luka Augustine has really strong hips, and the takedowns that Faison has had has been at the knee or below, towards the ankle.
Adam Hall told us, he warned us this week on our call, he said, you're going to see more of the Alex Faison from 2023 tonight. He thought he had a really good week of preparation and practice. He said the explosion has returned back, and on a couple of instances tonight, against a real tough sophomore in Augustine, he's been able to find his offense.
He sure has. And when we were talking to Holden Heller, he said that Luka Augustine, who was one of his training partners, is so hard to take down. Well, Alex Faison has done a good job with these really good shots here. Wrestling well. Up and down the lineup, NC State's been wrestling well.
Stalemate, look up, easy. Standard wrestle.
You brought up the point earlier, you want to see Faison finish strong.
Fingers, let him
Pretty
go.
good
Let those
indicator
fingers go.
here in this third period is just as I say that, Augustine comes in, but Faison up to the challenge. Steady base.
Work through this. Battle
Runs
through
it
this.
off. Right back to that front head position.
The coaching staff has got to be really proud of the way Faison wrestled this match. Luka Augustine, he has a very strong situation with his career moving forward. But Luka Augustine was never really in any danger.
Late takedown, not enough for Augustine, and Alex Faison has picked up the win. Flex of the muscle. His family back home in North Carolina. In-state recruit, year 6.
Fred.
A Wolfpack getting it done in the middleweights. First it was Derek Fields taking care of business, and then Faison followed up. The youth of NC State will be on full display. Dylan Fishback, Reese Heller coming up. This Friday night duel rolls on. Quite a showing on the road for North Carolina State. They've won 6 of 7. Pat Papalizio, the 3-time ACC Coach of the Year, certainly has to be smiling on the inside. This is a Wolfpack program with 2 losses this year to Ohio State, most recently Oklahoma State. But boy, they have put it all together. Dylan Fishback, the young freshman, Reese Heller, the veteran, redshirt senior. Next up, Brock, we were both talking at lunch today. This is one of those matchups, very intriguing when you look at the youth and the talent that Fishback has and the poise and experience on the opposite corner for Reese Heller.
Fishback needs a good low shot. That's how you start it off. Locking hands.
One out. Technical violation. Locked hands.
3-point takedown, right off the shot. As soon as he lowers level, watch this low level. Bam! And then he came down and he locked his hands. He was still on the mat, locked his hand. Technical violation, so it's 3-2.
Reese Heller, the NCAA qualifier, like his brother, second year at Pitt, transferred in from Hofstra. Those two brothers so close, best friends, on and off the mat, training partners. Headgear issue as Heller with an equipment malfunction, and Reese was talking about the relationship that he has with his older brother, who we saw here earlier tonight in competition. Really looks up to him. Those two, in fact, live together here on campus. Their training partners will roll around the morning of the duel. Sounded like they had a pretty physical roll around this morning. They had the older Heller a bit shaken up for a while today. brotherly love between these two. Hellers. Early 3 by Reese Heller and a 3-2 lead over Dylan Fishback, redshirt freshman,
Fingers.
Aurora,
Get out of the finger
Ohio.
lace. Stay out of it, guys. Both guys, stay out of the finger lace.
Fishback needs to take a page from the Derek Fields book. Just continue to attack because, like his older brother, Reese is very funky.
Ball position. Over the top goes Heller. Fishback.
Keep progressing
What he
here.
likes to
Keep
do
progressing.
here. He tries to split and cut those legs, but Heller squeezing tightly, trying to not allow that to happen.
Stalemate.
We
Nothing
get a
going on there.
stalemate
Both up.
back to the center.
This should not discourage Fishback. The only way you're going to score is by attacking more.
There you go, guys. Set. Let him go. Let him go.
And he's attacking still. Good job
We're
of keeping that.
neutral.
He's keeping that
We're still neutral.
leg and the armpit really high and tight because you don't want him to kick out. No takedown because it's reaction time. I agree with that call.
We're neutral.
Spring there
We're
by
still
Heller.
neutral.
He hit the mat for a split second, but then he just shot right back up to his feet.
And the NC State
Work through
coaching staff
this.
didn't argue.
Work through it. Stalemate. Both up.
So he had the arm trip right there, right back up. He has no control there. Completely agree. But Fishback is right back in there. He's keeping his stance and shooting.
Both wrestlers shooting simultaneously. Dylan Fishback has had some good matches this year. He pushed top-ranked Parker Keckeisen to the wire in Nashville at the Journeyman National Collegiate Duels. He sustained a loss to Dustin Plott, who was ranked number 3, 13-8. It was interesting when you talked to Dylan this week. He said he went into those matches almost respecting the opponent too much.
Battle
And that
through this,
happens
guys.
often when
Battle
you're
through
young.
this position. Battle through it.
They say this guy is ranked. He's good. He's All-American. I
Center.
gotta be
Stay in
careful.
there.
Maybe I
Stay in
don't
there.
do what I
Center in.
should do. But no. He said no
Let it
longer
go.
will I respect
Get out
someone
of
as
it.
much.
Let it go.
You know, all these wrestlers are
choice.
tough, Rock, but
Your choice.
a lot of these wrestlers have some tough sisters.
Red
And
chooses
take a
down.
look here, twin sister Brooke and Dylan Fishback. And he was sharing a story with us back in his younger days. He was training for Tulsa Nationals, and his father paid Brooke to be a sparring partner, and she would get paid for getting takedowns and getting
come on, Greg.
points. It worked in the long run because
Go
Dylan
green.
won that Tulsa Nationals that particular year.
One.
And
Neutral.
he said, yeah, Brooke can kick my nose. Yeah, Brooke can beat him in a lot of different ways on the mat.
go.
And the brother-sister love between those two.
I tell you what, Tulsa's a really
Battle
tough
through
tournament
this.
for young guys. If Brooke, if you're listening, maybe you should work out with Dylan right before the NCAAs, and he'll win the NCAAs.
I think my dad could have enticed my sister, though, to help out.
Center,
Even
center,
the biggest
center.
amount of money probably would not have brought her in. That's a good sister right there. Tied
Let it
at
go.
3,
Get
a
out of
minute
it.
15, second period.
Battle center.
Fishback is doing a stutter step with his left foot and
Action.
attacking the right leg of Heller. He's doing a good job of also keeping his stance. That one shot and one takedown that Heller had was really good time. But since then, he hasn't sniffed that foot six.
Stay out of it, guys. Don't lace them up. Don't lace the fingers up. Both wrestlers.
Down on one knee, Heller. Low shot there, man. Fishback able to crack it, submarines his way in on that leg.
We're neutral.
And this is
We're
where
neutral.
Heller is very dangerous.
We're neutral.
He's going to try and sit the corner. When I say sit the corner, try to get his hips
We're neutral.
to the other side. And Fishback's doing a good job of keeping his hips
We're
low. He
neutral.
doesn't want to pop his hips up because once you pop your hips up,
Stalemate.
that's when Heller could roll through.
Here we go.
But he's going back to that shot to Heller's right leg.
Fingers, let him go. Both guys, stay out of it. Let it go.
Good motion. Oh, now that's much better. Good defense there by Heller to get his hips low on the mat.
Fishback was in a position on that double, but the hip placement by Heller, he's able to fend it off. Short time. Fishback looks over at the clock, one quick glance, and that will be it through 2 periods. Take a look at the schedule this year. Over the next few weeks, Friday night duels. Next week we're at Reynolds, NC State, UNC, Virginia Tech. A lot of anticipation with the Hokies this year. They host Duke, North Carolina, Virginia. And then we close it out February 23rd right back at Reynolds for Virginia Tech, NC State.
I like the fact that Dylan Fishback is continuing to shoot that. Last time he was in legs, excuse me, on the legs, it was getting closer and closer. So the pressure is can Heller continue to defend as Fishback continues to attack?
Gets away in 9 seconds.
This is when it's advantageous to have really good defense. When you're tired, you know that if your first baseline defense doesn't work, if someone gets to your legs, you feel just as comfortable.
Both wrestlers battling.
Trying to reposition, anchor in those heels. Throw there by Fishback. And Heller is so alert, knows exactly where he is on the edge. Not a lot of real estate to work. You see him able to reposition and get his heels back to the center of the mat. That's some of that experience we were talking about.
That's a good observation right there. Even on the edge, right when he was out of bounds, Heller circled right back into the gray side of the mat.
Fishback comes up empty, reshot there by Heller. Pace picking up as we hit 60 seconds to go.
The attack rate has not slowed down. It's about to get really, really interesting right here. Because you see that, once again, Fishback is not backing up. He's still going forward. But it's just the defense of Heller that's so tough. 40 seconds. Watch the offense come.
One more shot, continuation out of bounds, and buckle up. I think you're going to have some fireworks here in the closing 30 seconds.
You're going to see a sprint. When we say sprint, that's when the wrestler that's usually down is just going to go, and just start to throw the kitchen sink. And that's going to be what Fishback's going to do. Watch, he's going to keep coming, keep moving.
Comes up empty there by Heller.
Short time, Heller's doing a good job. Watch him circle back in. He's staying on his knees. And then there's a stall call backing out. That's fine. 15 seconds. Now what he has to do is he wants to stay right in the PIT, right in the pit area. He doesn't want to get to the outside of that, because that's where you get in trouble, make it a stall call. But because his defense is so good, Heller can stay right in there. And he is staying right in there.
Both wrestlers trying to find some late oxygen. 10 seconds. Does Fishback have some road magic late? Heller captures that overhook. And that is going to be it. Reese Heller with a hard-fought win by decision, 4-3. Heller improves his record to 13-4.
That first takedown with that low shot, just cuffed the foot. That was enough. And really stout defense by Heller. But he's a freshman, and I tell you what, Fishback will learn from this. He kept attacking throughout the match, and he'll go back to the lab at Raleigh and figure out what he did well. But Heller had a good job wrestling there on his defense.
Pitt picks up their second win of the night, final 2 weights. How about 197, our next stop? One of the best in the land, Trent Hidley, the redshirt senior. Down Pennsylvania, taking on Max Stout, a redshirt freshman. Coming off that redshirt season a year ago, there is Max Stout, who leads the team with 3 falls this season, 14-3, and ready to take on Trent Hidley. One of the more entertaining wrestlers to watch in all of the college landscape.
Max Stout had a tough loss against Michael Beard of Lehigh, and it's just going to be a tough match against someone on the level of Trent Hiley. You don't understand what it is to face Trent Hiley until you face Trent Hiley.
Action.
Look at Hidley, a 4-time All-American, but the unique part about this season, he made the decision to bump up to 197.
And he explained he wanted to bump up because he wanted to get better at wrestling and not being better at cutting weight down to 84. I wish every wrestler in America would take that philosophy. Get better at wrestling, not at losing weight.
He's been so consistent. When you talk about a great ambassador for the sport and for the university, that has been Trent Hiley. 3 straight top 5 finishes. He plays to the crowd back home at Reynolds Coliseum. The team over the last couple of years has just fed off his energy. Whether the spotlight's on like tonight on a nationally televised event, or it's the quiet early morning, late night hours in the practice room.
The crazy story was when I was at NC State just learning more about the team. At the end of the day, had a really tough practice. At the end of the practice, everyone's starting to run around, and Trent Hiley starts howling like a wolf, literally just like he was a werewolf. And they were looking at him like, what's going on, Trent? He said, has hair started to grow on my back yet? This guy's just different.
Whether he's at 184, 197, you know one thing, you're going to get an underhook and you are going to feel it. You see him go that opposite side of the underhook. Good job there recovering, though, by Stout, keeping the feet active. Hidley's going to try to drag him in where he has a little bit more room to work.
And one of the things that Ryan Jack said about Trent Hiley really helped him as he was getting fearful of being tired. Trent Hiley really said, you're going to get tired, just get there. It's okay to feel the fatigue.
See, top 5, and Aaron Brooks has been Hidley's nemesis the last few years.
And you may be watching saying it's only 3-1. The freshman's doing a good job, and he is. It's just, can he keep this pace up for the rest of the match? And that's often when you see Trent Hiley really start to pour it on.
Let those fingers go.
But maxed out, there's that underhook again. And you just get tired. You don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to hip in? Is he going to go and throw it by to a single? You're going to throw it by to a knee pick, or you're going to throw it by to a double. So many different attacks. But as I was saying, maxed out, he has a great training partner in national champion Nino Bonacorsi, so he knows about someone that has high octane.
Story Nino Bonacorsi was for Pitt last year, winning the national championship. That had not been done since his mentor in the corner, Keith Gavin, won the title in 2008. Nino was up here in the broadcast booth the other night doing a terrific job. His glasses, it looks like he picked up some new glasses between that duel with Arizona State. Yeah, take a look at this. There's Nino. I've had pairs of glasses like that. They still work.
And I tell you what, it's hard to wear glasses when you don't have the frame and the things around your ear.
What a great run it was to watch Nino. And we talked about at the start of the broadcast, the ACC with a couple of national champions, Bonacorsi one of them. And we found out this week, right after the Nationals, he had surgery on a rotator cuff. So he battled through some pain, some injury, some adversity to bring Pitt a national championship.
Those are stories that you never know about at Nationals. You find out after that.
Years ago, Cole Matthews wrestled with a torn ACL. Trent Hiley had a real bad stomach bug a couple of years ago as well. And you're right, those stories never come out. These athletes are never looking for any type of excuse. It always comes out a year or two after the fact.
And many times when you see the wrestlers on day 3 of the Nationals, their faces beat up. But there's the injuries you don't see. The internal, the tears, inside muscles, the sicknesses that you just don't see. You see the bruises, but there's a lot more that they're going through. And Trent Hiley is pointing on. This is typical Trent Hiley. It was 3-1 in the first period. It's just, can you keep this pace up that's so relentless?
Besides the size, Rock, and you watch a lot of Trent Hiley, what's the difference? Hiley at 84, Hiley at 97 technique-wise, or is there any?
You know what? I'm sure there's things that he says, you know, that's different. Us on the outside, we don't see it. But the fact during a week he can practice more on wrestling and not worrying about his calorie intake. And it makes wrestling fun.
Neutral.
We saw his older brother Hayden do the same thing his final year at NC State. It is a little awkward not seeing Hayden here. The Hiley brothers have been NC State wrestling. Hayden this offseason moving north to where it's a lot colder
Stay on the mat.
than it normally is in Raleigh. He's up in Fargo with North Dakota State on that staff.
Both guys that are leading the team there with Hayden as an assistant coach to Obi Blanc, both were from were here at NC State, and they're doing a good job there. Kudos to North Dakota State.
All Hiley as he takes the 15-4 lead. Let's see what Max Stout can do. It's away from getting into the top position. Mac and his wrestling family, his father Brian ran a club for a few years, wrestled at Clarion. His older brother Kellen, who is 7 years older than Mac. A solid career, Penn State, finished up at Pitt. Brother Luke, who was wrestling for Princeton. Tight-knit family, a lot of brotherly connection, as we have discussed, for both of these universities throughout this broadcast. Hiley gets the escape.
You can't really articulate what Max Stout learns by wrestling someone like this. Just what it feels like to have someone that's so aggressive, always attacking, physically, you know, just more mature than Mac.
Future very bright for Pitt when you look at these two upper weights, 97 and heavyweight. We will not see Dayton Pitzer tonight, unfortunately. The very talented heavyweight for the Panthers. He was injured in the last duel against Arizona State. Pitt just snake bit. The only way they could have lost that duel is what happened with that injury that Pitzer sustained. They end up losing by criteria. Bad news is Pitzer's out for the regular season. The good news is there is hope that we could see him come March in the ACC championship, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. Man, what a foundation as a brick comes in from the NC State corner. What a foundation to have moving forward with these two upper weights, Stout, Pitzer.
Technical violation.
Hang on, I'll give it to him.
And then the three-point takedown. Technical fall.
He just continues to get the job done at a high level. A lot of Wolfpack fans in attendance tonight.
Low shot by Heller to get the only takedown and hold him with some great defense. And then Trent Hiley doing Trent Hiley things, being aggressive. We got the heavyweights coming up. Owen Treffin against Jeff.
There is the big Pitt heavyweight, Dayton Pitzer, who was injured in the last duel against Arizona State. He is out with a shoulder injury, will miss the regular season. They are hoping to get him back for the postseason. In the meantime, a tough spot for Jeff Magan as he bumps up from 97. He will be making his season debut tonight against Owen Treffin, the junior and the reigning ACC champion for NC State. What a night it has been for Pat Papalizio and the Wolfpack, Rock. You look back at what they have been able to accomplish. Treffin trying to put an exclamation point on it, but they have dominated tonight.
They have. And even in the matches where they weren't the winners, they wrestle hard. And that's what you want as a coach. You want to make sure that no matter who wrestles, the effort is high.
Final weight class of the night. Megan a Pitt in the blue, Treffin the red and black of NC State. Owen Treffin, he had his coming out party last season, winning the ACC championship. Went on to nationals where he won a couple of matches as well. And you talked to him a season ago, it was all about conditioning. He just felt his conditioning was so much better. Good start this year, 10-5. He has a team high 4 falls.
Here's another weight class for NC State where they just have extreme depth. Good snap down. No takedown yet.
We're neutral
But
still,
chain
guys.
wrestling,
We're still
snap
neutral.
down, didn't get the takedown,
We're still
dropped
neutral.
down to the single, and then he did something
Red,
called
you
running
got
the
it,
pipe,
Red.
kind of like hiking the ball. He had the legs, and he just kind of hike it and spun him down. Running the pipe. But as I was saying, at NC State, they have a
Red,
really
still
strong
red.
amount of good heavyweights, and they have a wrestler named Chase Horn, who's a blue chipper. And he's just got to learn and get better, but Pat Popolizio wants to be too deep in every weight class. Good shot to a takedown by Treffin.
See the big size differential between these two. Megan one day wants to be an MMA fighter. In fact, he has had some success in some amateur bouts during the summer months, during the off season. Normally a 97-pounder, so this is going to be a tough haul for him over the next few weeks, filling in for the injured Pitzer. Megan in year 3 at Pitt, transferred in from Franklin and Marshall. The job there is able to sidestep the Treffin missile.
Every coach in America will agree the hardest weight classes to fill are at 125 and heavyweight. The bookends, as we want to call it, because 25-pounders generally grow out of 125, and if you're a very athletic heavyweight, you generally play football somewhere and get crazy NIL money, but I digress. But they want to make sure that they have an opportunity where you have depth, and NC State has depth at 125 and heavyweight, which is unique.
Wrestle here, both wrestlers.
Treffin committing somewhat to this ride near the end of the first period. 3 first period takedowns. Looked like he was maybe sniffing out a cradle opportunity. Nothing panning out from that. He positions a little bit more. Doesn't have a lot of time to work. Looks like he'll be just content to go into the second period with 1:21 of riding time and a commanding 9-2 lead.
Good choice, Fred.
A difficult schedule this year for Popolizio and the Wolfpack. Wins against Purdue and UNI. Then they had the losses to Ohio State, Oklahoma State. I'll tell you what, that Buckeye duel was something that you just don't see. Right out of the gate, NC State gives up 3 falls with 3 studs. Camacho,
Still you, Green.
Orini, and Jack. So just like that, they're down the 8 ball and they battle back and nearly rally and win.
And the effort, and that's one of the things that coach says, like, look, we went 6-4. 6-4 usually wins good straight double.
Power Treffin has, and now Megan trying to stay off his back.
Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Not out of the woods quite
Nothing
yet.
yet.
Now he's able to get his belly button flat.
1 count.
It's nothing worse than being an undersized heavyweight. You can be an undersized at other weight classes, but when you're an undersized heavyweight, you might be giving up 40
Still
pounds.
red. Still red. Yep.
Or more. And Treffin's one of the heavyweights of this new genre of heavyweights that are attacking on their feet. As you can see,
no shots.
still attacking.
3.
And unfortunately, Megan is going to have to go through these tough matches with these guys that are just bigger than him. But you got to respect the guy that says, I'm going to compete. And when you have that desire to compete, and if he wants to be, see what I mean? Nothing wrong, he's still competing. But when you have that desire to compete, there's no reason to believe he's not going to have a successful career in the MMA.
Bring up a good point as you look at the big body of Owen Treffin and this new generation of heavyweights always attacking, but it's where they're attacking that is different from your traditional heavyweight. You've seen a lot of the offense from Treffin the past couple of years below the waist. These big guys showing the athleticism to go down low and hit with lightning quickness. They've always had the power, and now they have added that speed element.
If you want to make the analogy, it's kind of like in NBA, you have these 7-footers that are usually used to bang inside, but now they're taking shots and taking 3-pointers. But Treffin puts a nice bow to a fantastic performance by NC State.
5 more team points for North Carolina State. Owen Treffin, another bonus point win. He runs his record to 11-5. Pat Papalizio and the Wolfpack hungry to win another ACC title, and they get the job done here in front of a large crowd inside Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. 31-6. North Carolina State able to handle the Pitt Panthers. Sean Kenny alongside Rock Harrison. Tell you what, Rock, you know, this was an anticipated duel. These two teams shared the regular season crown last year, but NC State sending a loud and clear message to the rest of the conference tonight.
Not just the conference, but the nation. It seems like they got refocused after their tough couple losses there, and from start to finish, they attacked and attacked and attacked, did what they normally do, being very tough on top, but I was very, very impressed with how well they wrestled from start to finish, and the fact that when they even lost matches, their effort was really high. Good job out of Wolfpack.
Well, you mentioned the start. How about we go back to 125? They have depth, talking about NC State, and they sent out Jared Trombley, and he did not disappoint.
He didn't. He said that I want to be the starter when it comes to the ACC championships, and did a great job, not just on his feet, but also attacking. And here we went right back to that high C over and over again. Looked fantastic.
Pitt has their bright spot. They had a couple of them tonight. Cole Matthews puts up 15 points. He gets back on the winning track.
You would have never thought that Cole Matthews would put up 15 points and 25 points between the two wrestlers. And it was a very good match. We said it was winning match tonight, and his last takedown was the one that put him at 15. Cole Matthews hopefully on a winning track.
Let's go to the middleweights. Reese Heller, Dylan Fishback, one of our highlighted matchups coming in.
He had a nice low single. He didn't really penetrate, but he just cuffed it. But then you saw the great defense of Heller. Hips down, hips away, real smart wrestling at the end, and sneaks out a 4-3 win.
And then finally at 97, it's a new weight, but it's the same result for Trent Hidley. Bumping up from 84, he has been a bonus point machine throughout his entire career.
Relentless pressure. You may stay close in the first period, but can you stay close in the second and third period? Trent Hidley wants to win a national championship, and he has world and Olympic aspirations. This is how you build.
Week 1, Rock, of the ACC season in the books. Your thoughts as we move to Reynolds Coliseum next week?
NC State is tough, and when they wrestle against UNC, they're going to be fired up. And Rob Cole, straight confidence, he's going to have them ready to wrestle in Reynolds Coliseum, and Reynolds Coliseum will be rocking.
Look forward to that. Friday night duels next Friday from Raleigh. Story tonight, all NC State. Big crowd on hand to watch some of their fan favorites like Cole Matthews and company, but in the end, just too much. Red and black, a 31-6 win for North Carolina State. For Rock Harrison, our fantastic crew here in Pittsburgh, this is Sean Kenny saying so long from the Steel City. Another ACC wrestling season underway.